Amid the noisy sounds of modern life, there are moments when we suddenly realize that what we truly need is not more new things, but a quiet space to return to. Return to the rhythm of our own breath. Return to the peace that has always been there in our heart. More than 26 centuries ago, there was a person who completed that journey. He was born into luxury, surrounded by every condition the world could offer. Yet he chose to leave the royal palace to seek a path that would end suffering for all beings. That person is Shakyamuni Buddha, the great teacher of humankind. From a prince, he became a wanderer in forests and mountains, enduring 6 years of extreme ascetic practice, facing hunger, hardship, and countless trials. When he realized that extremism could not lead to enlightenment, he abandoned the path of self-torment and chose a life of balance. Under the Bodhi tree, after 49 days of deep meditation, he awakened to the truth of the universe and of the human mind. From that moment on, he dedicated the remaining 45 years of his life to teaching, sharing wisdom, and guiding people to step out of suffering and live in freedom and wakefulness. The Buddha's teachings are not distant philosophy, nor are they mystical doctrines. They are living experiences distilled from his own inner transformation. Although more than 2,000 years have passed, his teachings remain fully relevant because human beings of any era are essentially the same. We still love, get angry, desire, feel hurt, and then keep searching for ways to heal our own hearts. On this journey, we will walk through 47 of the Buddha's teachings, golden words selected and arranged like milestones on a path. Each teaching is a small ray of light shining into the hidden corners of our soul. Some speak of karma, some remind us to love others, some show us how to face suffering, some encourage us to let go, to be grateful, and to live more peacefully each day. If we simply listen with our heart, we will recognize that each teaching contains a seed of wakefulness. When these seeds are planted in the mind, they quietly begin to sprout. When the mind changes, the way we see life changes. And when the way we see life changes, our whole life is transformed. Sometimes just one sentence, just one moment, is enough to awaken us, enough to help us step through years of exhaustion. So right now, allow yourself to relax. Gently put aside the unfinished worries. Feel the breath softly entering and leaving your body. Open your heart to receive the teachings that have helped countless generations rediscover inner peace. In the next 100 minutes, you and I will walk together into inner stillness, clarity, and freedom. Listen as if every word is spoken just for you. Let your heart become lighter, calmer, and more at ease. Now, I invite you to step into the world of these 47 teachings of the Buddha, teachings that can change an entire life. First teaching, gratitude, the root of blessings. In the Buddha's Dharma, gratitude is regarded as the very foundation of all spiritual practice. A person who knows how to be grateful will live more gently, generously, and kindly than anyone else. Gratitude is not just a word we say, it is a state of mind. When the mind is grateful, life feels complete. When the mind is ungrateful, no matter how much we have, we still feel lacking. The Buddha once taught, "A person who is grateful and repays kindness is the rarest person in this world." Most people remember only what has hurt them, yet forget all the goodness they have received. There is a story from the Buddha's time about a very poor man who came to him and complained that he had no blessings at all. The Buddha smiled gently and asked, "Do you still have eyes to see?" The man replied, "Yes, I do." The Buddha asked again, "Do you still have legs to walk, hands to work, breath to live, and people around you to love?" The man fell silent. He realized he had forgotten how many precious things were already present in his life. His mind had been so full of resentment that he could no longer see the blessings others would long to have. Gratitude is not reserved only for grand things. Sometimes it is enough to be grateful for a beautiful morning, a simple meal, someone who helped us in a difficult time, or simply for the fact that our body is still healthy and functioning. If we find one thing to be grateful for each day, life will naturally become brighter. On the other hand, if we keep complaining, comparing, and demanding, then no matter how much we gain, our heart will still feel empty. That not enough makes us tired. That not enough makes us suffer. In today's life, whenever you feel everything is becoming heavy, try to pause for a moment. Place your hand over your heart and ask, "What am I grateful for today?" Just that single question can immediately turn the mind toward the positive. Gratitude softens what is rigid. Gratitude makes worries less sharp. Gratitude helps us see that life has never completely turned its back on us. Now, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, silently say, "I am grateful because I am still alive." A grateful heart is the root of all blessings, and in the very moment you utter those words, blessings are already quietly blooming in your life. Second teaching: being human. 8 basic principles. The Buddha once said, "To be born as a human is easy, but to live rightly as a human is difficult." We all wish to be loved and respected, but not everyone knows how to live beautifully in the eyes of others and in the eyes of their own conscience. In many of his discourses, the Buddha often spoke of 8 basic principles of being a good human: kindness, humility, patience, wisdom, moderation, diligence, compassion, and responsibility. These are not rigid rules, but keys that open the door to a peaceful life. There is a story about a young man who came to the Buddha and asked, "Lord, what must I do to become a good person?" The Buddha handed him a mirror and said, "Look into this every day." The young man was surprised. The Buddha then explained, "Each day, look back at yourself. Whatever is good, keep it. Whatever is unwholesome, correct it. That is the path to becoming a good person." A human being does not need to be perfect. We only need to move toward what is right, day by day. Kindness brings peace to the heart. Humility keeps us from arrogance. Patience helps us avoid unnecessary conflicts. Wisdom allows us to distinguish what should and should not be done. Moderation keeps us from excess. Diligence leads us to growth. Compassion beautifies the soul. Responsibility earns the trust of others. These 8 qualities are like 8 lamps lighting our way through life. Today, you can take a moment to look within. Which of these 8 qualities have you cultivated well? Which ones still need nurturing? There is no need to feel pressured. Just recognize and adjust gently. A person becomes better not in a single day, but through many days of seeing themselves clearly and making small corrections. Now, take a deep breath. Let your mind quietly affirm, "I am learning to be a better human." Becoming a little better each day, that is the path the Buddha wished for each of us to walk. Third teaching: karma, sow good, reap good. Karma is not a strange idea, nor is it a punishment or reward handed down by some almighty being. Karma is simply the natural functioning of life. Sow a mango seed and you will harvest mangoes. Plant chili seeds and you will get chili. Whatever we sow through our speech, actions and thoughts, life will return to us at the right time. One day, a man came to the Buddha and asked, "Why do I do good yet see no good results?" The Buddha replied gently, "A seed does not sprout immediately. What you plant today will come back to you when conditions are ripe." He then told the story of a restless farmer who, after planting his crops, dug up the soil every day to check if the roots had grown. In the end, the crops died because he touched them too often. The Buddha said, "Good deeds are like those plants. Once you have planted them, let them be. Just keep living well. The fruits will come when their time has come." In life, sometimes we see bad people living in wealth and comfort, while kind people face hardship. We quickly conclude that karma is unfair. But the Buddha taught that a human life is not limited to a single lifetime. The seeds we sow today may bear fruit in future lives. The seeds we sow in many past lives may be influencing our present. When we understand this, we no longer resent, no longer burn with anger, and no longer become impatient about the results of our good deeds. Rather than fearing karma, we simply need to live decently. Keep sowing goodness, no matter how small. Each kind act is another beam of light added to our life. A kind word can warm someone's entire day. A good action softens our own heart. And a wholesome thought can sometimes change the whole course of our karmic stream. Right now, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what good seed can I sow today? However small your answer may seem, it is the beginning of a life rich in blessings. Fourth teaching, karma in thought. When the mind is good, life will be good. The Buddha taught, mind precedes all phenomena. Mind is their chief. They are all mind-made. This means that everything we experience in life begins in the mind. If our mind is filled with anger, everything becomes a reason for suffering. If our mind is full of love, everything becomes easier, even if circumstances stay the same. Long ago, a general came to the Buddha, deeply troubled by his past, full of violence and killing. He feared his karma was too heavy to be transformed. The Buddha picked up a handful of sand, placed it on his palm and asked, "If you open your hand and let this sand fall, will it still be in your hand?" The general answered, "No, Lord." The Buddha said, "In the same way, when you let go of your old thoughts and turn your mind toward goodness, your karma begins to change." The general wept. He realized that transforming karma starts with transforming the mind. In daily life, we often think that only actions create karma. In truth, thoughts are the root. A good thought may or may not become an action, but every truly good action always arises from a wholesome thought. Likewise, a mind full of anger, even if nothing is spoken, still heats up our heart, tightens our face, and disturbs our sleep. When we harbor too much doubt, fear, and resentment, life naturally feels heavy. When we nourish kindness, the mind naturally becomes clearer and everything begins to feel lighter. Now, you can place your hand over your heart and feel its beating. Silently whisper, "I vow to keep wholesome thoughts in my mind." When good thoughts arise, life itself begins to change. Fifth teaching, forgiveness, the strength of the wise. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It is proof of wisdom. The weak hold onto grudges. The strong know how to let go. The Buddha taught, to have an enemy and not seek revenge, that is the mark of a truly wise person. The one who clings to anger is the one who binds themselves. The one who forgives is the one who becomes truly free. There is a well-known story of a man who came to insult the Buddha. He used the harshest, most offensive words he could find. Yet the Buddha sat quietly, unmoved. When the man grew tired and stopped, the Buddha gently asked, "If someone brings you a gift but you refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man replied, "It still belongs to me." The Buddha said, "In the same way, the words you spoke, I do not accept them. They still belong to you." The man fell silent. For the first time he realized that he had only been hurting himself. In life, all of us have been misunderstood, slandered, or hurt at some point. Yet suffering does not come from what others do. It arises when we carry those wounds inside. Forgiveness does not mean we agree with what was wrong. It means we refuse to let what is wrong keep harming our heart. Today, you might recall someone who once made you sad. Not to blame them, but to gently say to yourself, "I let go." You do not need to see them to forgive them. Forgiveness is something that happens inside, not outside. When you truly put down a burden in your heart, you will feel a lightness, as if stepping out of a dark, cramped room. Now, breathe deeply and relax your shoulders. Imagine opening the door of your heart and allowing all the heavy things to leave. That is the very moment forgiveness begins to grow. Sixth teaching: the two paths of life, body and mind. A human life really only has two paths: the path of the body and the path of the mind. The path of the body is everything we go through and strive for in the outer world, traveling, working, achieving and acquiring. The path of the mind is the quiet inner journey where we learn to understand ourselves, transform ourselves, and discover a deep, unconditional peace. The Buddha taught, "Conquering 1,000 armies is not as great as conquering yourself." Our body can travel to many places and achieve many things, but if our mind is not at peace, then even in the midst of glory, we will still feel empty. There was once a king who was extremely wealthy. He built magnificent palaces, expanded his kingdom, and commanded hundreds of thousands of soldiers. Yet he felt deeply insecure and slept poorly every night. One day, he visited a meditation master and asked, "How can I find peace?" The master looked at him and replied, "You have walked too far with your feet, but you have never taken a single step with your heart." The king was puzzled. Then he realized that all this time he had only been building the outer world while neglecting his inner world. He began to learn meditation, to slow down, and to listen to himself. Gradually, his heart became lighter and calmer, and he discovered that true peace had never lived on the throne. The path of the body has its limits. The body will tire, age, and weaken. But the path of the mind is limitless. The deeper we go within, the more spacious it becomes. When the mind is bright, everything outside also becomes bright. When the mind is tangled, even the best circumstances cannot make us truly happy. In today's busy world, we are all swept up by work, responsibilities, and achievements. Yet we often forget that the mind is what determines how we feel. A beautiful house cannot give us peace if our mind is full of worries. A long trip cannot make us happy if fear and anxiety still live inside us. Peace does not come from where we stand, but from how we stand. Now you may close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, where is my mind right now? Am I living only on the path of the body, or am I also walking the path of the mind? Simply recognizing this is already the first step on the true path. A very small step, yet it can change your whole life. Seventh, teaching. Sincerity. A value money can't buy. Sincerity is a precious jewel that not everyone knows how to protect. A truthful word, an action that comes from an honest heart, a care that has no hidden agenda, these can touch the human heart more deeply than any material gift. The Buddha taught that the truthful person is the most trustworthy person in all times. Sincerity is the foundation of every relationship, friendship, family, love, and cooperation. Without sincerity, everything becomes fragile. There is a story about a disciple who always tried to appear perfect in front of his teacher. He worked hard, spoke politely, and always smiled. One day his teacher asked, "Are you living truly, or just trying to make me see you as good?" The disciple was silent. the teacher said, "You don't need to be perfect. I only need you to be genuine. Only sincerity can help you transform. Pretending will only make you grow farther from your true self." Those words awakened the disciple. From then on, he allowed himself to be real, sometimes weak, sometimes wrong, sometimes confused. But each time he stumbled, he faced it honestly. No hiding, no self-deception. In life, we often wear too many masks. A mask to please others, a mask to hide our fears, a mask to avoid getting hurt. But the more masks we wear, the further we drift from our own heart. Sincerity does not mean telling everything to everyone. It means living in alignment with our own wholesome nature. No scheming, no manipulation, no pretending. A sincere person brings comfort, trust, and warmth wherever they go. Today, ask yourself, am I living honestly with my own heart? Is there something I am hiding, avoiding, or doing just to please others while betraying myself? Simply admitting the truth to yourself is already the beginning of sincerity. Take a deep breath. Let your heart speak the truest thing it wants to say. You will feel much, much lighter. Eighth teaching, moderation, staying balanced in a changing world. In the Buddha's teachings, there is an important concept called the middle way. It is the path that avoids two extremes, overindulgence and harsh self-denial. This is also the essence of moderation. After 6 years of severe ascetic practice that nearly cost him his life, the Buddha realized that extremism does not lead to enlightenment. He abandoned self-torture, ate in a balanced way, kept body and mind light and relaxed, and it was precisely this moderation that enabled his awakening under the Bodhi tree. Moderation is not a dull life. It is the wisdom of knowing what is enough. Eat enough to be healthy. Speak enough to bring joy. Work enough not to burn out. Love enough not to lose yourself. Living in moderation keeps us from being swept away by greed, driven by anger, or drowned in fear and endless craving. There is a story about a musician. If the strings of the instrument are too tight, they snap. If they are too loose, they make no sound. The strings only produce beautiful music when they are tuned just right. The Buddha used this image to teach his disciples. The human mind is like a string. Too tight, and it is exhausted. Too loose, and it becomes careless. Only when it is balanced can it truly shine. Nowadays, we are often exhausted by too much. Too busy, too worried, too eager to prove ourselves, too desperate to be understood, too obsessed with being perfect. All of these, too much, make us lose our balance. When we know how to stop at the right time, we preserve our energy, our peace, and our joy in living. Now place your hand on your chest and ask, what in my life is excessive right now? How much can I reduce so that my heart feels lighter? When we learn moderation, life naturally becomes more harmonious. Ninth teaching, living lightly. Let go at the right time, peace will come. Life itself is not heavy. It becomes heavy because we carry too many things on our shoulders, the expectations of others, the fear of failure, the criticisms of the past, sorrows that ended long ago. The Buddha taught, nothing is heavier than a mind filled with defilements and worries. When we learn to let go at the right time, our heart naturally becomes lighter. There is a story about a Zen master and his disciple. As they were crossing a river, the master carried a young woman in his arms to help her reach the other side. The disciple felt uncomfortable, but said nothing. Hours later, back at the monastery, he finally protested, "Master, why did you carry that young woman?" The master replied, "I put her down at the riverbank long ago. Why are you still carrying her now?" This story teaches us that often the event itself has already ended, but we still cling to it in our mind. It is that clinging which burdens us. Living lightly does not mean running away from life, nor does it mean being indifferent. It means knowing what to keep and what to release. Keep kindness, sincerity, and goodness. Let go of rivalry, anger, and stubbornness. The more we can let go, the lighter we live. Today, look into your own heart. Is there a story you should release? A person you should forgive? A feeling you should allow to pass? Close your eyes and imagine placing that burden on the ground. Even this small visualization can already make your heart feel lighter. 10th teaching, understanding and empathy, light for the world. The Buddha taught that if we want to truly love, we must first understand. Without understanding, love can unintentionally cause suffering to ourselves and to others. Understanding is the root of compassion. When we look deeply into another person, we will see their pain. When we truly see their pain, anger naturally fades and the wish to help arises. There is a story of a woman who lost her only child. Overwhelmed by grief, she carried her child's body everywhere, begging people to save him. Eventually, she came to the Buddha and pleaded for help. The Buddha said, "Go and bring me a mustard seed from a house that has never experienced a death." She went from house to house, village to village, but every family she met had lost someone they loved. Finally, she realized that her pain was not unique. From this understanding, her grief began to soften. In life, we often judge others based on what they do, but actions are only the surface. Behind them are fears, sorrows, and old wounds that have not yet healed. When people are in pain, they are more likely to cause pain to others. If we can see the root of their suffering, we will understand that blame and anger cannot truly solve anything. Only understanding and empathy can bring healing. Understanding lessens our anger. Empathy allows love to arise. A person who understands others carries light wherever they go. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, "I choose to understand before I become angry. I choose to look deeply before I judge." When you can do this, your heart becomes gentler and life becomes gentler with you. The 11th teaching of the Buddha. Forgiveness, liberating your own heart. Forgiveness is one of the hardest lessons in life. When we are hurt, our instinct is to remember, to hold on, to remind ourselves how deeply we were wounded. But the Buddha taught, hatred is never overcome by hatred. Only love can extinguish hatred. This is not an instruction to accept wrongdoing. It is a reminder that our heart should not become a prison for what makes us suffer. In ancient times, a man frequently came to the Buddha complaining about those who had hurt him. One day, the Buddha handed him a clear cup of water and dropped a handful of salt into it. He asked, "How does it taste?" The man answered, "Salty, undrinkable." Then the Buddha led him to a large lake and dropped the same handful of salt into it. He asked again, "How is the water now?" The man replied, "Still fresh, still drinkable." The Buddha said, "The suffering is the same, but if your heart is small, suffering fills it completely. If your heart is vast, the same suffering cannot overwhelm you." That is the essence of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about making others feel better. Forgiveness is freeing yourself. As long as you hold resentment, you remain tied to the past. A wound cannot heal if you touch it every day. In life, perhaps you have been betrayed, hurt, misunderstood, or spoken to in ways that left you breathless with pain. But ask yourself, why am I holding on to this? To suffer more? To prove something? When you loosen your grip, even just a little, you will feel a cool, spacious opening inside your chest. Right now, you may close your eyes and breathe slowly. Imagine your sadness leaving your body like a bird taking flight into the open sky. Forgiveness rarely arrives in a single day, but each gentle breath brings you closer to freedom. Forgiveness is the gift you offer your own soul. The 12th teaching, just enough joy and sorrow, mindfulness in every emotion. Humans are born with a full spectrum of emotions: joy, sadness, anger, love, compassion. They are as natural as the wind coming and going. Suffering begins when we cling to our emotions, magnify them, or try to suppress them. The Buddha never taught us to eliminate emotions, but to be mindful of them. Emotions are not who we are. They are visitors. They come and they go. A young novice monk once struggled with sadness, anger, and worry. Everything felt heavy to him. He asked the Buddha for guidance. The Buddha handed him a dry leaf and said, "Look at this leaf. Is it sad?" The novice replied, "No." The Buddha continued, "It fell because of the wind, because of conditions. There is nothing to suffer about. Your emotions arise from conditions too. They only cause suffering when you try to hold on to them. We may feel joy, just don't let joy carry us into carelessness. We may feel sadness, but don't let sadness drown us. Everything should be just enough. Joy enough to lighten life. Sadness enough to understand compassion. Anger enough to know your boundaries. But all of these must be illuminated by mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us acknowledge an emotion's presence without letting it control us. Often we let emotions drag us without noticing. A careless comment ruins our whole day. A small issue keeps us awake at night. But when we pause and take one deep breath before reacting, we see emotions for what they truly are: waves. Waves may be strong, but beneath them, the ocean is always calm. Your heart is that ocean. Place your hand on your chest and notice what is there: joy, sadness, worry, or peace. Smile at them gently, then let them go. When the mind is calm, life becomes calm. And living with just enough emotion is the art of inner peace. The 13th teaching, flow like water, soft yet powerful. Water symbolizes wisdom. Water is soft, yet nothing can resist it. When it meets a rock, it flows around it. When it meets a cliff, it falls gracefully. When it meets open space, it spreads out. Water never competes, yet it overcomes all obstacles. The Buddha taught that we too should live like water, gentle outwardly, steady inwardly, humble in behavior, but firm in our heart. A man once asked a Zen master, "How can I become stronger?" The master led him to a stream and said, "Watch the water." The water flowed slowly, slipping through rocks without force. The master said, "Water does not fight the stone, yet over time water shapes the stone. True strength comes from persistence and flexibility, not hardness." Many people believe strength means winning, shouting louder, or being unyielding. But inner strength is different. A strong inner person knows when to move forward and when to step back. They stay calm in storms. They soften to pass through challenges. They stay quiet to understand. They yield to maintain peace. Water doesn't hold the past. It doesn't worry about the future. It simply flows in the present. Therefore, it is always at peace. If we learn to live like water, life becomes much lighter. When insulted, we can flow around it. When obstacles arise, we adjust. When opportunities open, we expand. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as a flowing river. No resistance, no clinging, just moving gently through life. Every obstacle can be overcome if you soften first, then rise with resilience. Flowing like water is one of the Buddha's deepest teachings. The 14th teaching, the value of hardship. Suffering is a great teacher. People fear suffering, fear failure, fear loss. But the Buddha taught, without suffering, one cannot see the path. It is suffering that opens the door to wisdom. Looking back on life, Our greatest growth often came during the hardest times. If life were always easy, we would remain fragile, unprepared for real storms. A young man once complained to the Buddha about life's difficulties. Instead of explaining, the Buddha handed him a potato and a grain of rice, placing both into boiling water. After a while, the potato softened into mush, but the rice grain transformed into a fragrant, tender pearl. The Buddha said, "In the same boiling water, the weak break apart while the strong transform. It is not the hardship that matters, it is your inner quality." Every challenge arrives at the right time to teach us something: patience, letting go, gratitude, or the need to adjust our path. No hardship comes to punish you, it comes to shape you. Remember, the lotus blooms only from mud. People with depth have walked through their darkest days. Suffering teaches empathy. Loss teaches gratitude. Failure teaches humility. Each time you overcome hardship, you become a stronger version of yourself. Place your hand on your heart and ask, "What is this difficulty trying to teach me?" When you see hardship as a teacher, your burden becomes lighter. Storms still come, but afterward the sky becomes clearer than before. The 15th teaching, change, when the old path no longer fits. Life is a constant flow. Nothing stays the same. The Buddha taught impermanence to remind us that change is the nature of all things. When the path you are walking no longer fits who you are becoming, you must have the courage to take a different route. A bird once lived in a golden cage, well-fed, safe and comfortable, yet always uneasy. One day, the owner forgot to close the door. The bird stood at the entrance, torn between familiar safety and the vast sky. Eventually, it flew out. For the first time, it felt wind, clouds, and infinite space. Had the bird stayed out of fear, it would never have known the sky was so large. In life, the old path may be a job that no longer inspires you, a relationship whose purpose has ended, a habit that no longer helps you grow, or a way of living that exhausts you. We stay only because we fear loss or fear starting over. But the Buddha said, "No one saves us but ourselves." Change is not running away. Change is taking responsibility for your life. Each step of change brings growth. It may shake you, but it leads you toward who you are meant to become. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I walking the path that truly belongs to me? If the answer is no, adjust gently. Even a small shift today can lead your life in a completely new direction. All real change begins inside. When the mind changes, life changes with it. The 16th teaching, don't be too rigid. Black and white are often illusions. People love dividing everything into right or wrong, good or bad, black or white. But the Buddha taught that life is rarely that clear-cut. What seems right in one situation may be wrong in another. Someone you once disliked may later reveal a hidden story of pain. What once felt like misfortune may turn out to be a blessing. There is a famous story of a farmer whose only horse ran away. Neighbors said, "What bad luck?" The farmer replied, "Maybe, maybe not." Days later, the horse returned with a wild horse. Neighbors said, "How lucky?" He said, "Maybe, maybe not." His son tried riding the wild horse, fell, and broke his leg. Neighbors said, "Terrible luck." He replied, "Maybe, maybe not." Soon after, soldiers came to conscript young men for war. His son was spared because of the injury. Only then did the villagers understand life cannot be judged at first glance. The Buddha reminds us that events unfold through countless unseen conditions. What seems unfavorable today may bless us tomorrow. Someone difficult today may become our greatest support later. Quick judgment creates unnecessary suffering. Rigid thinking blocks understanding. Instead of labeling everything, look deeper. Give people and life another chance. Tell yourself, don't rush. When your mind softens, life softens with you. Take a breath and ask, what have I judged too quickly? Recognizing this is the beginning of wisdom. The 17th teaching. Remind yourself. Live mindfully each day. The Buddha taught, be a lamp unto yourself. Meaning, no one can transform you but you. Each person must remind themselves to stay mindful, like a guard watching the city gate, alert, aware, not letting defilements rush in. A Zen master kept a small pebble in his pocket. Each time he touched it, he reminded himself, inhaling, I know I'm breathing in. Exhaling, I know I'm breathing out. That simple act kept his mind peaceful all day. Mindfulness is not mystical. It is the art of returning to yourself. In modern life, we are easily swept away by pressure, desire, and distractions. We forget what we are doing, what we want, even what we feel. We react on autopilot, saying things we don't mean, doing things we later regret. Mindfulness is the pause that asks, where am I? How is my mind? Do I truly want this? Just a few mindful questions can change your entire day. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, I am coming back to myself. Breathe deeply. This is the first step toward a meaningful life. The 18th teaching. See others' good qualities. Cultivate your own heart. The Buddha taught, if you only look at others' faults, you miss the chance to perfect yourself. We naturally notice others' weaknesses more easily than their strengths. But when we focus on flaws, we create suffering inside ourselves. When we focus on goodness, kindness arises within us. A young monk often complained about a clumsy companion. The abbot took him to the garden, pointing at a thorny lemon and a fragrant white flower. He asked, "What do you see?" The monk said, "An ugly thorny fruit and a beautiful flower." The abbot smiled. "Your friend is the same. You only see the lemon and ignore the flower within him." From that day forward, the monk's heart softened. Seeing others' good qualities plants seeds of goodness in your own mind. You learn what you lack. You appreciate life's diversity. A generous heart is not born, it is practiced. Think of someone you dislike. Now take a moment to find one good quality in them, just one. It may be small, but it is real. When you see the light in others, your own heart becomes lighter. The 19th teaching. Do not hurt the ones you love. They are the most fragile. Those who love us are often the ones most hurt by us, not because they are weak, but because they allow us close enough to wound them. The Buddha taught, the greatest pain often comes not from enemies, but from loved ones. A hot-tempered man was always polite to strangers, but spoke harshly to his wife and children. One day he asked the Buddha why his family was unhappy despite his efforts. The Buddha said, "You offer flowers to strangers, but thorns to your family." The man was stunned. From that day, he practiced speaking gently and listening with patience. Slowly, his home transformed. In life, we often treat strangers politely, yet unleash our frustrations on those closest to us, because we know they will stay. But love is not a guarantee. It requires care. A single harsh word can trouble a loved one for days. A cold gesture can break their heart. People who love you are not obligated to endure your storms. Instead of blame, choose understanding. Instead of harshness, choose gentleness. Instead of hurting, choose loving. Think of someone in your family you want to treat better. Speak one kind sentence to them today. Their heart will warm, and so will yours. The 20th teaching, 3 types of matters in life. Know them and you will suffer less. The Buddha taught that life contains 3 types of matters: your own matters, others' matters, the matters of nature, life itself. When we forget this, suffering arises. When we remember, peace returns. Your matters include your thoughts, actions, choices, and direction in life. Others' matters arise from their karma, their decisions, their circumstances. The matters of nature include birth and death, storms and sunshine, illness and aging, things no one can control. A woman once told the Buddha, "I suffer because of everything happening around me." The Buddha asked, "Whose matters are causing your suffering?" She answered, "My husband's, my children's, my parents', my neighbors'." The Buddha replied, "Then you are carrying matters that do not belong to you." Many of us suffer because we try to manage what is not ours. We want others to live the way we desire. We want them to change according to our expectations. But every person has their own path and karma. We cannot control them. Worrying about things beyond our influence only exhausts us. What we can do is take care of our own matters, cultivate our mind, act kindly, sow good seeds. Everything else must be returned to whom it belongs. Close your eyes and ask, "The suffering I am carrying, whose matter is it?" If it is not yours, gently put it down. Peace will appear. The 21st teaching, choices shape destiny. The Buddha taught, what we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday. Life is not determined by luck, but shaped by our choices. Every thought we believe, every action we take, every word we speak, quietly shapes our destiny. A young man once complained that his life was full of misfortune. The Buddha gave him 3 seeds and said, "Plant them, 1 in fertile soil, 1 in rocky ground, and 1 you leave unattended." Weeks later, the first grew strong, the second sprouted weakly, the third withered. The Buddha said, "These are your choices. What you choose becomes the life you live." Many of us suffer because we repeatedly choose anger instead of understanding, resentment instead of release, negativity instead of growth. But the miracle is this: you can choose differently at any moment. Choose kindness even when others aren't kind. Choose calm during chaos. Choose a smile instead of a frown. Choose to continue instead of giving up. Just one wise choice each day changes the direction of your entire life. Ask yourself, what can I choose today to make life lighter? Your heart will answer. The 22nd teaching, do not judge. Every person carries their own karma. The Buddha taught, do not judge, for you do not know what another has endured. People judge because they see only actions, not the pain, fear, or wounds behind those actions. A rude person may have grown up without love. A suspicious person may have been betrayed multiple times. An angry person may be carrying a burden too heavy for you to see. Once, a man was disliked by everyone in his village. People saw him as bad-tempered and unpleasant. When the Buddha met him, he immediately recognized a deep sorrow in the man's heart, the sorrow of losing a child. His harshness was not malice, but grief. When the villagers learned this, they were stunned. What they had judged was only the surface. Every person is a story you know nothing about. Judgment closes the door to compassion. Harshness darkens our own heart. Instead of judging, observe. Instead of criticizing, understand. Instead of condemning, give space for change. Think of someone you once judged harshly. Now whisper to yourself, maybe they were hurting too. Your heart will soften, and the world will soften with it. The 23rd teaching. True contentment. Happiness is to be felt, not displayed. The Buddha taught that happiness does not come from proving anything to anyone. It comes from experiencing peace within. We often believe we must achieve more, own more, outperform others to be happy. But the more we chase, the emptier we feel. A young man once asked the Buddha, "How can I be happy?" The Buddha told him to bring a bowl of water, dropped sand into it, and stirred. The water turned cloudy. "Can you see your reflection?" "No." Your mind is the same. When you stir it with comparison, desire, and competition, you cannot see the happiness already inside you. Then he left the bowl still. The sand settled, the water cleared. When your mind becomes still, you will see that happiness was within you all along. True happiness lies in simple things: a deep breath, a peaceful morning, a warm meal, a hug from someone you love, a good night's sleep. These don't need to be shown off, only felt. Ask yourself now, what is making me feel peaceful at this moment? That right there is happiness. The 24th teaching. Forgive, but do not give blind trust. Forgiveness and trust are not the same. The Buddha taught, forgive to lighten the heart, trust only when wisdom allows it. Many people confuse the two, thinking forgiveness means they must continue the same relationship, give the same trust, and act as if nothing happened. This often leads to more pain. A man once came to the Buddha saying he forgave someone who repeatedly deceived him, yet still felt uneasy. The Buddha showed him a rope that had been cut and tied many times. "You can reconnect this rope," he said, "but it will never be as strong as before. You forgive so your heart may rest, but you don't have to hand your life rope back to the one who keeps cutting it." Forgiveness is the heart's work. Trust is the mind's work. Someone who hurt you can be forgiven, but trust must be earned through change. Compassion without wisdom leads to suffering. Wisdom without compassion leads to coldness. We must hold both. You may forgive someone and still keep distance. You may forgive someone and protect your heart. You may forgive someone and choose not to let them hurt you again. Whisper to yourself, "I forgive to be free, but I choose wisely whom to trust." Peace will follow. The 25th teaching. Stop overthinking. Let go of what isn't here. The Buddha taught that most human suffering does not come from the present moment, but from the mind wandering to the past or future. A man once asked the Buddha how to worry less. The Buddha instructed him to hold a glass of water. "Is it heavy?" "Yes." "And if you hold it longer?" "It becomes heavier. But if you put it down, it becomes light again." The Buddha said, "Your worries are like this glass. They are not heavy by themselves. You suffer because you hold them too long." We may plan for the future, but worrying endlessly suffocates the present. We may remember the past, but clinging to it chains our heart. When the mind runs too far, we miss the beauty right in front of us. A quiet afternoon, children laughing, a warm meal, a peaceful breath. Letting go of overthinking is not irresponsibility, it is mindfulness. The Buddha taught, live fully in each breath. This breath is life. Take a deep breath now. Release the distant thoughts. Whisper gently, I live only in this moment. And your mind will become calm like a still lake. The 26th teaching, be foolish. Sometimes it brings peace. The Buddha once said that overly clever people often suffer more, not because wisdom causes suffering, but because they notice too much, think too much, react too much. The more we analyze, the more restless we become. The more we care about every little detail, the heavier life feels. Some people who appear a little simple, who let small things go and don't fuss over every word, often live more peacefully. Foolishness here is not ignorance. It is wise softness. It is knowing when not to argue, when not to react, when not to cling to being right. An old monk once admired by all was gentle, quiet, and rarely argued. Someone asked him, "You understand so much. Why do you sometimes act as if you know nothing?" He smiled. Knowing or not knowing is not as important as keeping peace in the heart. I know, but I choose not to fight. I understand, but I choose not to speak. Not because I am foolish, but because I won't sacrifice my peace just to be right. In life, many of our troubles come from insisting on proving ourselves, but being right often brings no peace, only ego. Ask yourself, out of the 10 things you were angry about recently, how many truly mattered? Most were small matters that would disappear if you simply let them go. Place your hand on your chest and ask, what can I choose not to care about today? When you care less about trivial things, life becomes lighter. When you live softly, your heart becomes free. The 27th teaching. Speak with heart. Blessings begin from the tongue. The Buddha taught that the greatest karma in life is created through speech. A single sentence can heal or destroy, uplift or break someone. One careless moment of anger may cause a lifetime of regret. A woman who often spoke harshly to her family once asked the Buddha how to restore harmony. The Buddha gave her a bowl full of water and instructed her to walk around the village without spilling a drop. She focused intensely and succeeded. He asked, "While walking, were you concerned with others' affairs?" "No, I only feared spilling the water." The Buddha said, "If before speaking harsh words, you remember this bowl, you will know how to hold your speech carefully." Words cannot be taken back once spoken. Speaking with heart means speaking what is true, kind, and beneficial. Not always sweet, but always honest and well-timed. Before speaking, pause for one breath. That one breath can save a relationship, prevent regret, and plant blessings. Whisper gently, "From today I choose words that bring peace." When your words become gentle, your life becomes gentle. The 28th teaching. Self-reflection. Look within before blaming others. The Buddha taught, before pointing to others' faults, look at your own. Humans naturally notice the flaws of others as clearly as daylight, yet overlook their own flaws as if hidden in darkness. When we focus only on others' mistakes, we become rigid and angry. But when we look inward, humility softens the heart. A young monk once complained about a messy companion. The abbot took him to a pond where some mud floated on the surface. "Is the water dirty?" "Yes." The abbot stirred the water until the mud dispersed and asked, "What do you see now?" "My own reflection." The abbot said, "When you fixate on others' dirt, you cannot see yourself. When the water becomes clear, you see your own face." Self-reflection is not self-blame, it is awareness. When you see your own flaws, you blame others less. When you correct your flaws, you naturally become kinder and wiser. Ask yourself, am I guilty of the same thing I criticize in others? Do I really understand them? What does my anger reveal about me? These questions open the door to awakening. Whisper, I choose to look at myself before judging others. A clear heart sees the world gently. The 29th teaching, protect your faith, a precious blessing. The Buddha taught that faith is one of life's greatest treasures, not blind belief, but confidence in goodness, truth, and your chosen path. Faith gives strength on difficult days. Faith keeps us steady in life's storms. Faith helps us rise when everything seems dark. A man once asked the Buddha, "What causes practitioners to fall the fastest?" The Buddha answered, "Losing faith. Lose faith in yourself, and you stop trying. Lose faith in goodness, and you fall into negativity. Lose faith in life, and despair covers the heart." Faith is like a tree. It must be tended daily. Read uplifting words. Stay close to inspiring people. Do small good deeds. Whisper encouragement to yourself. Close your eyes and ask, "Where is my faith right now?" If it is weak, nourish it. If it is strong, protect it. Faith is the flame that lights your way through darkness. The 30th teaching, cultivate kindness. When the mind is bright, life is bright. The Buddha taught, "The mind is like an artist. It paints the world you see. A dark mind sees a dark world. A bright mind sees a bright world." Everyone carries seeds of goodness, but without mindfulness and kindness, those seeds lie dormant. A disciple once asked, "Why do some people see suffering everywhere while others see beauty?" The Buddha pointed at a forest. A hunter sees prey, a woodcutter sees firewood, a poet sees beauty, a beggar sees shelter. The world stays the same, the mind makes it different. Kindness softens your world. A kind person forgives easily, understands deeply, gives freely, and receives joy naturally. Kind thoughts create kind words. Kind words create kind actions. Kind actions return to you as blessings. Ask yourself now, what small act of kindness can I do today? Do it quietly. Let your heart be the only witness. When your mind brightens, the world brightens with it. The 31st teaching, learn to live. Everyone has their own burden. The Buddha taught that no one lives without sorrow. The wealthy suffer in their way, the poor suffer in theirs. The educated face pressure, the uneducated face confusion. No one is as perfectly happy as they seem, and no one is so miserable that they have no hope. Once, a grieving mother begged the Buddha to revive her child. He told her to bring a mustard seed from a house where no one had ever died. She visited every home, but each had lost someone. She returned in tears, but no longer in despair. She understood that suffering belongs to everyone. Learning to live means accepting that life will not always align with our desires. Today joyful, tomorrow troubled. This is natural. Resistance creates suffering. Understanding brings peace. We often compare ourselves to others, thinking they have easier lives, but if we walked their path, we would discover their hidden burdens. Instead of comparing, appreciate what you have. Your breath, your health, your loved ones, your meal, your shelter. These simple things are treasures. Close your eyes and ask, what burden am I carrying? Can I accept it with gentleness? When you understand that everyone suffers in their own way, your heart becomes softer and your life becomes deeper. The 32nd teaching, 4 types of people to cherish. The Buddha taught that 4 kinds of people are blessings in one's life. Those who give you knowledge, those who give you motivation, those who give you peace, those who guide you back to yourself. Such people are not ordinary. They are blessings. A monk once asked the Buddha, "Who is a true friend?" The Buddha replied, "One who appears when you fall, one who reminds you of your worth, one who stays silent when you need to hear yourself, one who inspires you to become better." We meet many people in life, but only a few leave deep marks. A teacher who guided you, a friend who lifted you during despair, a loved one who stayed without demanding anything, someone whose presence made you want to improve. Humans often take kindness for granted, forgetting to say thank you. But not everyone stays forever. Think of someone who helped you through a difficult time. Whisper a silent gratitude to them, whether they are near or only in memory. Gratitude creates blessings. A heart that cherishes goodness will always attract goodness. The 33rd teaching. 3 things you must never do. The Buddha taught that there are 3 actions one must avoid in life: harming the innocent, speaking words that wound, acting against one's conscience. These may seem simple, yet they are the roots of much suffering. A young man once asked, "How do I know which actions create bad karma?" The Buddha drew a line on the ground and said, "Any action that makes your heart tremble, even slightly, is the path you should not follow." Our conscience always knows, even if others don't. The easiest wrongs to commit are lies, hurtful words, and unethical actions for personal gain. Each one stains the heart a little. Repeated, they dim the inner light. Some justify wrongdoing by saying, "Everyone does it." But the Buddha taught, what is widely done is not necessarily right. True morality is the ability to look inward and see whether an action aligns with the person you want to become. Ask yourself, is there something I'm doing that makes my heart uneasy? Acknowledging it is the first step toward transformation. When you refrain from harm and uphold goodness, the dignity of being human is restored within you. The 34th teaching. Lessons from misfortune. The Buddha taught that suffering does not come from misfortune itself, but from our resistance to it. Difficulties are unavoidable, but they are not punishments, they are teachers. A farmer once came to the Buddha complaining about a failed harvest. The Buddha asked, "Have you had successful harvests before?" "Yes." "And did you see them as blessings?" "Yes." The Buddha said, "Then why do you see this failure as a curse?" Misfortune is not inherently bad. It is part of life, like day and night, sun and rain. We want everything to be smooth. But if life were always easy, we would forget how strong we truly are. Suffering shapes resilience. Adversity deepens wisdom. Challenges build patience. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" 2 questions create 2 different lives, one filled with bitterness, the other filled with understanding. Now think of a recent misfortune. Look at it with different eyes. See it as a teacher guiding you toward growth. When your perspective changes, your suffering becomes a staircase, leading you to a stronger, wiser you. The 35th teaching. You cannot please everyone. Even the pure are criticized. The Buddha taught, no one can satisfy everyone. Even the fully enlightened one was misunderstood, slandered, and criticized. How much more so for ordinary human beings like us? If we spend our life trying to please the world, we will soon exhaust ourselves. Striving for perfection only causes us to lose our true selves. Long ago, a man who feared criticism came to the Buddha and asked, "How can I live without anyone speaking badly of me?" The Buddha replied, "Then do this. Do nothing, say nothing, and do not live at all." The man was stunned. The Buddha continued, "If you do nothing, people will call you lazy. If you say nothing, they will call you cold. If you live gently, they will call you weak. So why trouble yourself?" At that moment, the man realized a simple truth. To live well, you do not need to be perfect, only true to your heart. In life, we are often shaken by the words of others. A single criticism keeps us awake at night. A rumor breaks our peace. But you cannot control other people's mouths. You can only control your own mind. When the mind is steady, criticism falls away like raindrops sliding off a lotus leaf. It cannot wet the surface. Instead of striving to be perfect, strive to be authentic. Instead of trying to be liked, try to be kind. Instead of chasing someone else's ideal, live according to your own inner goodness. Take a slow breath and remind yourself, I do not need to be perfect. I only need to be myself. When you release the pursuit of perfection, your heart becomes light as a cloud and life opens wide before you. The 36th teaching. True friendship, a rare and precious blessing. The Buddha taught that encountering a genuine friend in this lifetime is a rare and sacred blessing. A true friend is not someone who always praises you or always shares your joy. A true friend is someone who corrects you when you are wrong, stays beside you when you are weak, and does not abandon you when life grows heavy. Such friends are few, and therefore precious. Ananda once asked the Buddha, Master, how important is a good friend on the spiritual path? The Buddha replied, a good friend is not part of the path. A good friend is the entire path. The people who walk beside us shape our minds. A gentle friend makes us gentle. A sincere friend inspires sincerity. A wise friend protects us from mistakes. A compassionate friend helps heal our wounds. In life, we may know many people, but only a few are truly friends. Some come only for joy and leave when sorrow arrives. Some stay for their own benefit. Some appear close but turn away when we fall. But there are also those who remain kind no matter how life shifts. Those are the ones we must cherish. A true friend is not perfect. They may err, forget, or be clumsy at times. But their heart is real. When we suffer, they stay. When we stumble, they reach out. When we lose our way, they gently guide us back. And when we succeed, they celebrate without envy. Think of someone who stood beside you when no one else understood you. Silently offer them gratitude. They are a blessing not easily found. And if you can, become such a friend to someone else. When we give warmth, our own heart is warmed. A sincere friendship is a small boat that carries us across many storms. Through it, we learn what true love and loyalty really mean. The 37th teaching. What is right for you is true happiness. People often chase the best, the perfect, the ideal, forgetting that what is perfect is not always what is right. The Buddha taught that happiness comes not from perfection, but from meeting the right conditions at the right time in the right way. What fits brings peace. What is perfect may only bring pressure. A carpenter once searched the forest for the perfect tree to make a table, straight, flawless, without knots or cracks. He found none. Finally, he chose an ordinary tree, sturdy, imperfect, but suitable. The finished table was more beautiful and durable than he expected. He realized what is suitable brings lasting value, more than what is flawless. In life, we meet many people, jobs, opportunities. Sometimes in chasing the perfect, we lose the just right that stands before us. We may overlook a loving partner because we seek an ideal one. We may reject a suitable job because we dream of a perfect one. We may resent life's roughness, forgetting that its unevenness makes us strong. Right means you can be yourself. Right means you do not have to strain to fit. Right means life feels balanced, neither too much nor too little, and your heart can smile. Ask yourself, am I chasing perfection, or am I choosing what truly fits my life? If it is perfection, reconsider. If it is what fits, cherish it. What fits is what the heart needs, and when you find it, happiness is never far away. The 38th teaching. Position your life well. See far, see deeply, see widely. The Buddha taught that the wise must learn to see life in 3 ways. See far, to avoid being trapped in the present moment. See deeply, to avoid being deceived by appearances. See widely, to avoid being confined by the smallness of ego. Together, these form the wisdom of clear insight. A man once asked the Buddha why he could not find his life direction. The Buddha handed him a cup filled with cloudy water. "Look," he said. The man saw only murkiness. When the water is disturbed, the Buddha said, nothing becomes clear. When your mind is clouded by emotion, you cannot see your path. After practicing meditation for some time, the man returned. The water was clear. He saw the bottom easily. When the mind becomes clear, the Buddha said, truth becomes visible and the path reveals itself. Seeing far helps us avoid impulsive choices and short-term traps. Seeing deeply helps us distinguish truth from illusion. Seeing widely brings compassion, removing the tightness of ego. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, do I see life with narrow eyes or wide ones? When you widen your view even slightly, life widens with you. The 39th teaching, wipe away your tears, rise and walk on. The Buddha taught that suffering is a natural part of life. No one escapes it. But suffering does not come to destroy, it comes to awaken. Crying is not wrong. Pain is not wrong. Falling down is not wrong. But we cannot remain there forever. A woman who had lost everything, husband, child, home, came to the Buddha in despair. The Buddha gave her a handful of earth and said, your pain is like this, but look at the mountain. Its earth is far more than this handful. Then he sent her to find someone who had never known loss. She found none. She realized she was not alone, and slowly she stood again. Rising does not mean forgetting. Rising means accepting and continuing. Every time you rise, you prove that you are stronger than your circumstances. If you are hurting now, know this: you are not alone. Let your tears fall if they must. Then wipe them gently. Take a deep breath and whisper, I will be okay. And step by step, light will return. The 40th teaching, a peaceful mind creates a peaceful world. The Buddha taught, it is not the world that troubles you, it is your mind. Circumstances are like flowing rivers, always changing. The mind is the root of emotion. When the mind is chaotic, small things feel enormous. When the mind is calm, great troubles shrink. A king once asked the Buddha, how can I live in peace? The Buddha brought him to a river. The rippled water distorted everything. This is your mind when it is disturbed, he said. Then he scooped a bowl of still water. This is your mind when it is at peace. Peace comes not from changing the world, but from changing the heart. Pause for a moment. Breathe slowly. Let your mind settle like still water. When the mind becomes peaceful, the world becomes peaceful. The 41st teaching, self-inquiry, see far, see deeply, see widely. To live wisely, the Buddha taught that one must constantly practice inner reflection. Reflection has 3 layers: seeing far, understanding where your actions will lead; seeing deeply, perceiving the essence beneath appearances; seeing widely, understanding others and yourself with compassion. A young man once asked the Buddha for direction in life. The Buddha handed him a small oil lamp. With this lamp, the Buddha said, you can only see a few steps ahead, but if you know your destination, even that little light is enough. We do not need to see the entire future, only the direction of our next step. Ask yourself, can you see the consequences of your choices? Can you see the truth behind appearances? Can you see life with a wider, more compassionate heart? When you see far, see deeply, and see widely. You master your destiny. The 42nd teaching, mastering emotions, do not wound your own heart. Emotions are like waves, rising and falling. If you think you are the wave, you will suffer. If you know you are the ocean, the waves will pass gently. A man who often lost his temper came to the Buddha. Whenever he was angry, he spoke hurtful words and regretted them later. The Buddha gave him a bowl full of water and told him to run without spilling a drop. After completing the task with great focus, the man returned. "While running, did you notice what others said?" the Buddha asked. "No," the man replied. "I only feared spilling the water." The Buddha said, "If you guard your mind as carefully as you guarded that bowl, you would not do things you later regret." Emotions are not the enemy. Unawareness is. A 10-minute anger can destroy a 10-year relationship. A careless word can wound someone we love deeply. When an emotion arises, simply name it. I am angry. I am sad. I am worried. The moment you name it, you separate yourself from it. Emotions are guests. Your mind is the home. Place your hand on your chest and say softly, "Emotions come and go. My mind remains." The 43rd teaching, Inner Stillness, the Treasure Within. Stillness is not the absence of sound. Stillness is the inner peace that remains even when the world is loud. The Buddha once stirred the surface of a lake, making the water cloudy. "What do you see?" he asked. "Nothing," the disciples replied. When the water settled, the sky, trees, and their own reflections appeared. The Buddha said, "When the mind is disturbed by greed, anger, or ignorance, nothing is seen clearly. When the mind becomes still, truth reveals itself." Stillness is not escaping life. It is standing in the middle of life without being swept away. A few quiet breaths each day help return you to this treasure. Close your eyes now. Feel the space within you, the part no one can disturb. That is your true home. The 44th teaching, Compassion with Wisdom, loving in the right way. Compassion without wisdom becomes weakness. Wisdom without compassion becomes coldness. True compassion uplifts. It does not enable harm. A woman once kept giving money to her alcoholic son, believing it was love. But the more she gave, the deeper he fell into addiction. The Buddha said, "Your love is like adding oil to a fire. It burns rather than heals." Compassion with wisdom knows when to help, when to step back, and when to say no. Love deeply, but do not lose yourself. Give generously, but not to the point of self-destruction. Care sincerely, but wisely. Ask yourself, am I loving in a way that helps them grow, or in a way that harms us both? Loving with both heart and wisdom creates a life of profound beauty. The 45th teaching, the art of letting go, release, and be free. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of human suffering. We cling to the past, to pain, to people who have left, to things not meant for us. Each clinging is a chain. Each letting go is a liberation. 2 monks once carried a young woman across a muddy road. The elder monk carried her gently and then walked on. The younger monk kept complaining about it until evening. The elder said, "I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" Letting go does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means releasing what weighs down the heart. Close your eyes and imagine setting down one burden you've been holding. Even imagining it brings relief. That is the power of letting go. The 46th teaching, live in the present. This moment is enough. The Buddha taught that happiness is found only in the present moment. The past is memory. The future is imagination. Only the present is real. When asked what they would do if they had only 1 minute left to live, the disciples answered with things they wished they had done earlier. The Buddha said, "What you choose in your final minute is what you should choose in every minute." Stop postponing happiness. Stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. A warm cup of tea, a gentle morning, a kind word. These are moments of real life. Take a slow breath and enter this moment. This is where peace lives. The 47th teaching. Happiness is within. Seek it in your heart, not the world. The essence of all Buddhist teaching is this: happiness is not found outside. Happiness arises when the heart is clear, calm, and content. A man once sought a land free from suffering. The Buddha told him to search far and wide. After months, he returned, saying, "No such place exists." The Buddha said, "Then seek peace within, for that is the only land you can govern." Happiness is not in where you go, but in how you walk. Not in what you have, but in how you appreciate. Not in who surrounds you, but in how you love. Right now, place your hand on your heart. Feel its steady beat. It has been with you since your first day. That rhythm is a miracle. Just recognizing it is already touching happiness. Whisper softly, "Happiness is within me." It has always been there. You simply forgot to look. Buddhist guided meditation for inner stillness. Breathing, contemplating impermanence, contemplating body and mind, letting go, radiating compassion. Find a quiet space for yourself. It doesn't need to be solemn or perfect. It just needs to be a place where you feel safe, comfortable, and able to be yourself. If you can, sit with your back straight, but not stiff. Rest your hands gently on your thighs. Let your shoulders relax. Soften your face. And now, we will return together to the breath. Gently close your eyes. Do not force anything. Simply allow your eyes to rest after long, tiring days. Now take a deep breath in. Feel the cool air entering through your nostrils, passing down your throat, spreading into your chest, and filling your belly. Then slowly exhale, as if you are setting down everything that has been weighing on your heart. Breathing in. Know that you are breathing in. Breathing out. Know that you are breathing out. Just like that, you have already begun to touch the stillness within. Continue to breathe this way, gently, steadily, without forcing, without controlling. Let the natural rhythm of the breath lead you back to yourself. Now, bring your mind to the contemplation of impermanence. Everything you are going through, joy as well as sorrow, will not last forever. Like the breath that enters and leaves, like clouds drifting across the sky, like wind passing through the trees. There were things that once hurt you so deeply you thought you would never stand again. Yet somehow, you did stand again. That is impermanence. No sadness stays forever. No pain is truly permanent. Let this truth gently soothe your heart. Next, we contemplate the body. Become aware of your entire body. Feel your feet resting on the ground. Feel your hands, your arms, your shoulders. Feel your breath nourishing every cell in your body. Do not judge. Do not compare. Simply recognize that this body is here with you, walking beside you through all these years. If there is any place in your body that feels tired or in pain, send a soft whisper to that spot. Thank you. I hear you. I am listening. That tenderness is already a form of healing. Now we contemplate the mind. Gently observe what is present inside your mind right now. Perhaps a little worry, a little sadness, a few unresolved thoughts, or maybe a very quiet, deep stillness. Whatever is there, just observe. Do not fight it. Do not push it away. Do not cling to it. See your mind as the sky and your emotions as the clouds. Clouds come and go, yet the sky remains. Your mind is the same, vast and much more peaceful than you think. Now we move into letting go. Bring to mind one thing that has been weighing on you lately. It might be a hurtful word, a wound, a heavy expectation, a certain person, or even the you of yesterday. Look at it with gentle eyes, then softly say within, "It is time for me to put you down." Breathing in, bring light into your heart. Breathing out, release what no longer needs to be held. Each exhale is one more small release, one more layer of burden dropped, one more expansion of inner space. And now, let compassion spread. Imagine a warm light appearing in your chest. This light is love, without condition, without separation, without demand. First, send this light to yourself. May I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be light, may I be at peace. Then send this light to your loved ones, to those you care deeply about, to people you don't know who are also carrying their own hidden struggles. If your heart is wide enough, send this light even to those who have hurt you. Not so that they can return to your life, but so that you can be free. Silently say, "I no longer hold resentment toward you. I choose peace." Finally, let this light expand to all beings in this world. Those who are laughing, those who are crying, those who are lost, those who are still hoping. May they all taste peace just as you are tasting now in this very moment. Now, come back to your breath. Breathe in softly, breathe out softly. Feel how your mind has settled, like the surface of a lake after the wind has passed. When you open your eyes, may this peace remain with you for a long time. Present in each step, each word, each thought, each breath. And remember, peace is not something we search for outside. Peace is something we nurture from within every single day. Whenever you return to yourself, peace will return to you. After the journey through 47 teachings, after walking together through the 47 teachings of the Buddha, perhaps something inside you has softened. Maybe it is a sense of lightness, maybe a deeper understanding, maybe just a small ray of light emerging in a corner of the heart that has been dark for a long time. Each teaching is like a seed. Some seeds sprout immediately. Others lie quietly in the soil, waiting for the right conditions to bloom. But as long as you have listened with your heart, those seeds have already begun to live within you. We have traveled through teachings of gratitude, karma, forgiveness, the power of words, the softness of water, the value of hardship, change, and letting go. We have learned to look at others with the eyes of compassion, to live with just enough, to nourish our goodness, to rise from pain, and above all, to come back to ourselves. The Buddha's teachings are not distant philosophy. They are very practical directions for daily living. They can be applied in every breath, every step, every word, every small decision. Whenever you face anger, remember the softness of water. Whenever you are hurt, remember forgiveness that frees your own heart. Whenever life does not go as you wish, see it as a teacher. And whenever your heart feels too heavy, remember that just one deep breath can bring you back to peace. In this modern life, people are easily swept up by work, pressure, expectations, and nameless fears. But you do not have to wait until life becomes easy to live peacefully. Peace must begin right in the moment you choose to pause, to take a deep breath, and to smile at what is already here. And always remember this final teaching. When there is a Buddha in your heart, everywhere is a pure land. The Buddha is not somewhere outside. The Buddha lives in the way you love others, in the way you speak gently, in the way you choose what is wholesome, in the way you forgive, let go, and return to your breath. Carry this lightness with you into tomorrow. Let these teachings be a small lamp guiding you on the days you feel tired. Let the wisdom of the Dharma become soft wings, carrying you through the storms of life. May the peace you have touched today accompany you in every moment, so that you may live a life of understanding yourself, loving others, and walking gently through this world. Thank you for walking this whole journey with me, a journey of listening, reflection, and returning. Amid all the busyness of life, the time you have given to nourish your own soul is a precious gift you have offered to yourself. May your heart be just a little lighter, your breath just a little deeper, and your mind just a little calmer. May you remember to return to your breath whenever life feels overwhelming. Even a single pause is enough to soothe the heart. If today you feel peaceful, carry that peace into your words, into your actions, into the way you treat those around you. Peace, when shared, grows quickly. A small gesture, a smile, a kind word, all can become wholesome seeds sown into this world. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being fully present in each moment. Thank you for allowing your mind to rest, to breathe, to be at ease. If you wish to continue nurturing stillness and wisdom day by day, you are warmly invited to like, subscribe, and share this video with your loved ones as a way of spreading gentle energy into life. Your presence supports not only this journey, but also the peaceful space we are building together here at Zenlight Wisdom. May you walk through this world with a clear heart, a light soul, and a truly peaceful smile. See you again in the next journeys we share together, here at Zenlight Wisdom, where we will keep returning step by step to a deeper and deeper peace. Whisper, I choose to look at myself before judging others. A clear heart sees the world gently. The 29th teaching. Protect your faith, a precious blessing. The Buddha taught that faith is one of life's greatest treasures, not blind belief, but confidence in goodness, truth, and your chosen path. Faith gives strength on difficult days. Faith keeps us steady in life's storms. Faith helps us rise when everything seems dark. A man once asked the Buddha, "What causes practitioners to fall the fastest?" The Buddha answered, "Losing faith." Lose faith in yourself and you stop trying. Lose faith in goodness and you fall into negativity. Lose faith in life and despair covers the heart. Faith is like a tree. It must be tended daily. Read uplifting words. Stay close to inspiring people. Do small good deeds. Whisper encouragement to yourself. Close your eyes and ask, where is my faith right now? If it is weak, nourish it. If it is strong, protect it. Faith is the flame that lights your way through darkness. The 30th teaching. Cultivate kindness. When the mind is bright, life is bright. The Buddha taught, the mind is like an artist. It paints the world you see. A dark mind sees a dark world. A bright mind sees a bright world. Everyone carries seeds of goodness, but without mindfulness and kindness, those seeds lie dormant. A disciple once asked, why do some people see suffering everywhere while others see beauty? The Buddha pointed at a forest. A hunter sees prey, a woodcutter sees firewood. A poet sees beauty, a beggar sees shelter. The world stays the same, the mind makes it different. Kindness softens your world. A kind person forgives easily, understands deeply, gives freely, and receives joy naturally. Kind thoughts create kind words. Kind words create kind actions. Kind actions return to you as blessings. Ask yourself now, what small act of kindness can I do today? Do it quietly. Let your heart be the only witness. When your mind brightens, the world brightens with it. The 31st teaching, learn to live. Everyone has their own burden. The Buddha taught that no one lives without sorrow. The wealthy suffer in their way. The poor suffer in theirs. The educated face pressure. The uneducated face confusion. No one is as perfectly happy as they seem, and no one is so miserable that they have no hope. Once, a grieving mother begged the Buddha to revive her child. He told her to bring a mustard seed from a house where no one had ever died. She visited every home, but each had lost someone. She returned in tears, but no longer in despair. She understood that suffering belongs to everyone. Learning to live means accepting that life will not always align with our desires. Today joyful, tomorrow troubled. This is natural. Resistance creates suffering. Understanding brings peace. We often compare ourselves to others, thinking they have easier lives, but if we walked their path, we would discover their hidden burdens. Instead of comparing, appreciate what you have. Your breath, your health, your loved ones, your meal, your shelter. These simple things are treasures. Close your eyes and ask, what burden am I carrying? Can I accept it with gentleness? When you understand that everyone suffers in their own way, your heart becomes softer and your life becomes deeper. The 32nd teaching, 4 types of people to cherish. The Buddha taught that 4 kinds of people are blessings in one's life. Those who give you knowledge, those who give you motivation, those who give you peace, those who guide you back to yourself. Such people are not ordinary, they are blessings. A monk once asked the Buddha, "Who is a true friend?" The Buddha replied, "One who appears when you fall, one who reminds you of your worth, one who stays silent when you need to hear yourself, one who inspires you to become better." We meet many people in life, but only a few leave deep marks. A teacher who guided you, a friend who lifted you during despair, a loved one who stayed without demanding anything, someone whose presence made you want to improve. Humans often take kindness for granted, forgetting to say thank you. But not everyone stays forever. Think of someone who helped you through a difficult time. Whisper a silent gratitude to them, whether they are near or only in memory. Gratitude creates blessings. A heart that cherishes goodness will always attract goodness. The 33rd teaching, 3 things you must never do. The Buddha taught that there are 3 actions one must avoid in life: harming the innocent, speaking words that wound, acting against one's conscience. These may seem simple, yet they are the roots of much suffering. A young man once asked, "How do I know which actions create bad karma?" The Buddha drew a line on the ground and said, "Any action that makes your heart tremble, even slightly, is the path you should not follow." Our conscience always knows, even if others don't. The easiest wrongs to commit are lies, hurtful words, and unethical actions for personal gain. Each one stains the heart a little. Repeated, they dim the inner light. Some justify wrongdoing by saying, "Everyone does it." But the Buddha taught, what is widely done is not necessarily right. True morality is the ability to look inward and see whether an action aligns with the person you want to become. Ask yourself, is there something I'm doing that makes my heart uneasy? Acknowledging it is the first step toward transformation. When you refrain from harm and uphold goodness, the dignity of being human is restored within you. The 34th teaching, lessons from misfortune. The Buddha taught that suffering does not come from misfortune itself, but from our resistance to it. Difficulties are unavoidable, but they are not punishments. They are teachers. A farmer once came to the Buddha complaining about a failed harvest. The Buddha asked, "Have you had successful harvests before?" "Yes." "And did you see them as blessings?" "Yes." The Buddha said, "Then why do you see this failure as a curse? Misfortune is not inherently bad. It is part of life, like day and night, sun and rain. We want everything to be smooth, but if life were always easy, we would forget how strong we truly are. Suffering shapes resilience. Adversity deepens wisdom. Challenges build patience. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Two questions create two different lives, one filled with bitterness, the other filled with understanding. Now think of a recent misfortune. Look at it with different eyes. See it as a teacher guiding you toward growth. When your perspective changes, your suffering becomes a staircase, leading you to a stronger, wiser you. The 35th teaching. You cannot please everyone. Even the pure are criticized. The Buddha taught, no one can satisfy everyone. Even the fully enlightened one was misunderstood, slandered, and criticized. How much more so for ordinary human beings like us? If we spend our life trying to please the world, we will soon exhaust ourselves. Striving for perfection only causes us to lose our true selves. Long ago, a man who feared criticism came to the Buddha and asked, "How can I live without anyone speaking badly of me?" The Buddha replied, "Then do this. Do nothing, say nothing, and do not live at all." The man was stunned. The Buddha continued, "If you do nothing, people will call you lazy. If you say nothing, they will call you cold. If you live gently, they will call you weak. So why trouble yourself?" At that moment, the man realized a simple truth. To live well, you do not need to be perfect, only true to your heart. In life, we are often shaken by the words of others. A single criticism keeps us awake at night. A rumor breaks our peace. But you cannot control other people's mouths. You can only control your own mind. When the mind is steady, criticism falls away like raindrops sliding off a lotus leaf. It cannot wet the surface. Instead of striving to be perfect, strive to be authentic. Instead of trying to be liked, try to be kind. Instead of chasing someone else's ideal, live according to your own inner goodness. Take a slow breath and remind yourself, I do not need to be perfect. I only need to be myself. When you release the pursuit of perfection, your heart becomes light as a cloud and life opens wide before you. The 36th teaching. True friendship, a rare and precious blessing. The Buddha taught that encountering a genuine friend in this lifetime is a rare and sacred blessing. A true friend is not someone who always praises you or always shares your joy. A true friend is someone who corrects you when you are wrong, stays beside you when you are weak, and does not abandon you when life grows heavy. Such friends are few and therefore precious. Ananda once asked the Buddha, "Master, how important is a good friend on the spiritual path?" The Buddha replied, "A good friend is not part of the path. A good friend is the entire path. The people who walk beside us shape our minds. A gentle friend makes us gentle. A sincere friend inspires sincerity. A wise friend protects us from mistakes. A compassionate friend helps heal our wounds. In life, we may know many people, but only a few are truly friends. Some come only for joy and leave when sorrow arrives. Some stay for their own benefit. Some appear close but turn away when we fall. But there are also those who remain kind no matter how life shifts. Those are the ones we must cherish. A true friend is not perfect. They may err, forget, or be clumsy at times. But their heart is real. When we suffer, they stay. When we stumble, they reach out. When we lose our way, they gently guide us back. And when we succeed, they celebrate without envy. Think of someone who stood beside you when no one else understood you. Silently offer them gratitude. They are a blessing not easily found. And if you can, become such a friend to someone else. When we give warmth, our own heart is warmed. A sincere friendship is a small boat that carries us across many storms. Through it, we learn what true love and loyalty really mean. The 37th teaching: what is right for you is true happiness. People often chase the best, the perfect, the ideal, forgetting that what is perfect is not always what is right. The Buddha taught that happiness comes not from perfection, but from meeting the right conditions at the right time, in the right way. What fits brings peace. What is perfect may only bring pressure. A carpenter once searched the forest for the perfect tree to make a table, straight, flawless, without knots or cracks. He found none. Finally, he chose an ordinary tree, sturdy, imperfect but suitable. The finished table was more beautiful and durable than he expected. He realized what is suitable brings lasting value, more than what is flawless. In life, we meet many people, jobs, opportunities. Sometimes, in chasing the perfect, we lose the just right that stands before us. We may overlook a loving partner because we seek an ideal one. We may reject a suitable job because we dream of a perfect one. We may resent life's roughness, forgetting that its unevenness makes us strong. Right means you can be yourself. Right means you do not have to strain to fit. Right means life feels balanced, neither too much nor too little, and your heart can smile. Ask yourself, am I chasing perfection, or am I choosing what truly fits my life? If it is perfection, reconsider. If it is what fits, cherish it. What fits is what the heart needs. And when you find it, happiness is never far away. The 38th teaching: position your life well. See far, see deeply, see widely. The Buddha taught that the wise must learn to see life in three ways. See far, to avoid being trapped in the present moment. See deeply, to avoid being deceived by appearances. See widely, to avoid being confined by the smallness of ego. Together, these form the wisdom of clear insight. A man once asked the Buddha why he could not find his life direction. The Buddha handed him a cup filled with cloudy water. "Look," he said. The man saw only murkiness. "When the water is disturbed," the Buddha said, "nothing becomes clear. When your mind is clouded by emotion, you cannot see your path." After practicing meditation for some time, the man returned. The water was clear. He saw the bottom easily. When the mind becomes clear, the Buddha said, truth becomes visible and the path reveals itself. Seeing far helps us avoid impulsive choices and short-term traps. Seeing deeply helps us distinguish truth from illusion. Seeing widely brings compassion, removing the tightness of ego. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, do I see life with narrow eyes or wide ones? When you widen your view even slightly, life widens with you. The 39th teaching: wipe away your tears, rise and walk on. The Buddha taught that suffering is a natural part of life. No one escapes it. But suffering does not come to destroy. It comes to awaken. Crying is not wrong. Pain is not wrong. Falling down is not wrong. But we cannot remain there forever. A woman who had lost everything, husband, child, home, came to the Buddha in despair. The Buddha gave her a handful of earth and said, "Your pain is like this, but look at the mountain. Its earth is far more than this handful." Then he sent her to find someone who had never known loss. She found none. She realized she was not alone, and slowly she stood again. Rising does not mean forgetting. Rising means accepting and continuing. Every time you rise, you prove that you are stronger than your circumstances. If you are hurting now, know this: you are not alone. Let your tears fall if they must. Then wipe them gently, take a deep breath and whisper, "I will be okay." And step by step, light will return. The 40th teaching: a peaceful mind creates a peaceful world. The Buddha taught, "It is not the world that troubles you, it is your mind." Circumstances are like flowing rivers, always changing. The mind is the root of emotion. When the mind is chaotic, small things feel enormous. When the mind is calm, great troubles shrink. A king once asked the Buddha, "How can I live in peace?" The Buddha brought him to a river. The rippled water distorted everything. "This is your mind when it is disturbed," he said. Then he scooped a bowl of still water. "This is your mind when it is at peace." Peace comes not from changing the world, but from changing the heart. Pause for a moment. Breathe slowly. Let your mind settle like still water. When the mind becomes peaceful, the world becomes peaceful. The 41st teaching: self-inquiry. See far, see deeply, see widely. To live wisely, the Buddha taught that one must constantly practice inner reflection. Reflection has 3 layers: seeing far, understanding where your actions will lead; seeing deeply, perceiving the essence beneath appearances; seeing widely, understanding others and yourself with compassion. A young man once asked the Buddha for direction in life. The Buddha handed him a small oil lamp. "With this lamp," the Buddha said, "you can only see a few steps ahead. But if you know your destination, even that little light is enough." We do not need to see the entire future, only the direction of our next step. Ask yourself, can you see the consequences of your choices? Can you see the truth behind appearances? Can you see life with a wider, more compassionate heart? When you see far, see deeply, and see widely, you master your destiny. The 42nd teaching: mastering emotions. Do not wound your own heart. Emotions are like waves, rising and falling. If you think you are the wave, you will suffer. If you know you are the ocean, the waves will pass gently. A man who often lost his temper came to the Buddha. Whenever he was angry, he spoke hurtful words and regretted them later. The Buddha gave him a bowl full of water and told him to run without spilling a drop. After completing the task with great focus, the man returned. While running, "Did you notice what others said?" the Buddha asked. "No," the man replied. "I only feared spilling the water." The Buddha said, "If you guard your mind as carefully as you guarded that bowl, you would not do things you later regret." Emotions are not the enemy. Unawareness is. A 10-minute anger can destroy a 10-year relationship. A careless word can wound someone we love deeply. When an emotion arises, simply name it. I am angry, I am sad, I am worried. The moment you name it, you separate yourself from it. Emotions are guests. Your mind is the home. Place your hand on your chest and say softly, "Emotions come and go. My mind remains." The 43rd teaching: inner stillness, the treasure within. Stillness is not the absence of sound. Stillness is the inner peace that remains even when the world is loud. The Buddha once stirred the surface of a lake, making the water cloudy. "What do you see?" he asked. "Nothing," the disciples replied. When the water settled, the sky, trees, and their own reflections appeared. The Buddha said, "When the mind is disturbed by greed, anger, or ignorance, nothing is seen clearly. When the mind becomes still, truth reveals itself." Stillness is not escaping life. It is standing in the middle of life without being swept away. A few quiet breaths each day help return you to this treasure. Close your eyes now. Feel the space within you, the part no one can disturb. That is your true home. The 44th teaching, compassion with wisdom, loving in the right way. Compassion without wisdom becomes weakness. Wisdom without compassion becomes coldness. True compassion uplifts, it does not enable harm. A woman once kept giving money to her alcoholic son, believing it was love. But the more she gave, the deeper he fell into addiction. The Buddha said, "Your love is like adding oil to a fire. It burns rather than heals." Compassion with wisdom knows when to help, when to step back, and when to say no. Love deeply, but do not lose yourself. Give generously, but not to the point of self-destruction. Care sincerely, but wisely. Ask yourself, am I loving in a way that helps them grow, or in a way that harms us both? Loving with both heart and wisdom creates a life of profound beauty. The 45th teaching, the art of letting go, release and be free. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of human suffering. We cling to the past, to pain, to people who have left, to things not meant for us. Each clinging is a chain, each letting go is a liberation. 2 monks once carried a young woman across a muddy road. The elder monk carried her gently and then walked on. The younger monk kept complaining about it until evening. The elder said, "I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" Letting go does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means releasing what weighs down the heart. Close your eyes and imagine setting down one burden you've been holding. Even imagining it brings relief. That is the power of letting go. The 46th teaching, live in the present. This moment is enough. The Buddha taught that happiness is found only in the present moment. The past is memory. The future is imagination. Only the present is real. When asked what they would do if they had only 1 minute left to live, the disciples answered with things they wished they had done earlier. The Buddha said, "What you choose in your final minute is what you should choose in every minute." Stop postponing happiness. Stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. A warm cup of tea, a gentle morning, a kind word. These are moments of real life. Take a slow breath and enter this moment. This is where peace lives. The 47th teaching, happiness is within. Seek it in your heart, not the world. The essence of all Buddhist teaching is this: happiness is not found outside. Happiness arises when the heart is clear, calm, and content. A man once sought a land free from suffering. The Buddha told him to search far and wide. After months, he returned, saying, "No such place exists." The Buddha said, "Then seek peace within, for that is the only land you can govern." Happiness is not in where you go, but in how you walk. Not in what you have, but in how you appreciate. Not in who surrounds you, but in how you love. Right now, place your hand on your heart. Feel its steady beat. It has been with you since your first day. That rhythm is a miracle. Just recognizing it is already touching happiness. Whisper softly, "Happiness is within me." It has always been there. You simply forgot to look. Buddhist guided meditation for inner stillness. Breathing, contemplating impermanence, contemplating body and mind, letting go, radiating compassion. Find a quiet space for yourself. It doesn't need to be solemn or perfect. It just needs to be a place where you feel safe, comfortable, and able to be yourself. If you can, sit with your back straight, but not stiff. Rest your hands gently on your thighs. Let your shoulders relax. Soften your face. And now, we will return together to the breath. Gently close your eyes. Do not force anything. Simply allow your eyes to rest after long, tiring days. Now take a deep breath in. Feel the cool air entering through your nostrils, passing down your throat, spreading into your chest, and filling your belly. Then slowly exhale, as if you are setting down everything that has been weighing on your heart. Breathing in, know that you are breathing in. Breathing out, know that you are breathing out. Just like that, you have already begun to touch the stillness within. Continue to breathe this way, gently, steadily, without forcing, without controlling. Let the natural rhythm of the breath lead you back to yourself. Now, bring your mind to the contemplation of impermanence. Everything you are going through, joy as well as sorrow, will not last forever. Like the breath that enters and leaves, like clouds drifting across the sky, like wind passing through the trees. There were things that once hurt you so deeply you thought you would never stand again. Yet somehow, you did stand again. That is impermanence. No sadness stays forever. No pain is truly permanent. Let this truth gently soothe your heart. Next, we contemplate the body. Become aware of your entire body. Feel your feet resting on the ground. Feel your hands, your arms, your shoulders. Feel your breath nourishing every cell in your body. Do not judge. Do not compare. Simply recognize that this body is here with you, walking beside you through all these years. If there is any place in your body that feels tired or in pain, send a soft whisper to that spot. Thank you. I hear you. I am listening. That tenderness is already a form of healing. Now we contemplate the mind. Gently observe what is present inside your mind right now. Perhaps a little worry, a little sadness, a few unresolved thoughts, or maybe a very quiet, deep stillness. Whatever is there, just observe. Do not fight it. Do not push it away. Do not cling to it. See your mind as the sky and your emotions as the clouds. Clouds come and go, yet the sky remains. Your mind is the same, vast and much more peaceful than you think. Now we move into letting go. Bring to mind one thing that has been weighing on you lately. It might be a hurtful word, a wound, a heavy expectation, a certain person, or even the you of yesterday. Look at it with gentle eyes, then softly say within, "It is time for me to put you down." Breathing in, bring light into your heart. Breathing out, release what no longer needs to be held. Each exhale is one more small release, one more layer of burden dropped, one more expansion of inner space. And now, let compassion spread. Imagine a warm light appearing in your chest. This light is love, without condition, without separation, without demand. First, send this light to yourself. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be light. May I be at peace. Then, send this light to your loved ones, to those you care deeply about, to people you don't know who are also carrying their own hidden struggles. If your heart is wide enough, send this light even to those who have hurt you. Not so that they can return to your life, but so that you can be free. Silently say, "I no longer hold resentment toward you. I choose peace." Finally, let this light expand to all beings in this world. Those who are laughing, those who are crying, those who are lost, those who are still hoping. May they all taste peace, just as you are tasting now in this very moment. Now come back to your breath. Breathe in softly, breathe out softly. Feel how your mind has settled, like the surface of a lake after the wind has passed. When you open your eyes, may this peace remain with you for a long time, present in each step, each word, each thought, each breath. And remember, peace is not something we search for outside. Peace is something we nurture from within every single day. Whenever you return to yourself, peace will return to you. After the journey through 47 teachings, after walking together through the 47 teachings of the Buddha, perhaps something inside you has softened. Maybe it is a sense of lightness, maybe a deeper understanding, maybe just a small ray of light emerging in a corner of the heart that has been dark for a long time. Each teaching is like a seed. Some seeds sprout immediately, others lie quietly in the soil, waiting for the right conditions to bloom. But as long as you have listened with your heart, those seeds have already begun to live within you. We have traveled through teachings of gratitude, karma, forgiveness, the power of words, the softness of water, the value of hardship, change, and letting go. We have learned to look at others with the eyes of compassion, to live with just enough, to nourish our goodness, to rise from pain, and above all, to come back to ourselves. The Buddha's teachings are not distant philosophy. They are very practical directions for daily living. They can be applied in every breath, every step, every word, every small decision. Whenever you face anger, remember the softness of water. Whenever you are hurt, remember forgiveness that frees your own heart. Whenever life does not go as you wish, see it as a teacher. And whenever your heart feels too heavy, remember that just one deep breath can bring you back to peace. In this modern life, people are easily swept up by work, pressure, expectations, and nameless fears. But you do not have to wait until life becomes easy to live peacefully. Peace must begin right in the moment you choose to pause, to take a deep breath, and to smile at what is already here. And always remember this final teaching. When there is a Buddha in your heart, everywhere is a pure land. The Buddha is not somewhere outside. The Buddha lives in the way you love others, in the way you speak gently, in the way you choose what is wholesome, in the way you forgive, let go, and return to your breath. Carry this lightness with you into tomorrow. Let these teachings be a small lamp guiding you on the days you feel tired. Let the wisdom of the Dharma become soft wings, carrying you through the storms of life. May the peace you have touched today accompany you in every moment, so that you may live a life of understanding yourself, loving others, and walking gently through this world. Thank you for walking this whole journey with me. A journey of listening, reflection, and returning. Amid all the busyness of life, the time you have given to nourish your own soul is a precious gift you have offered to yourself. May your heart be just a little lighter, your breath just a little deeper, and your mind just a little calmer. May you remember to return to your breath whenever life feels overwhelming. Even a single pause is enough to soothe the heart. If today you feel peaceful, carry that peace into your words, into your actions, into the way you treat those around you. Peace, when shared, grows quickly. A small gesture, a smile, a kind word, all can become wholesome seeds sown into this world. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being fully present in each moment. Thank you for allowing your mind to rest, to breathe, to be at ease. If you wish to continue nurturing stillness and wisdom day by day, you are warmly invited to like, subscribe, and share this video with your loved ones as a way of spreading gentle energy into life. Your presence supports not only this journey, but also the peaceful space we are building together here at Zenlight Wisdom. May you walk through this world with a clear heart, a light soul, and a truly peaceful smile. See you again in the next journeys we share together, here at Zenlight Wisdom, where we will keep returning step by step to a deeper and deeper peace.